Hello, this is Dr. Derek Strachan with Divine Spine Chiropractic, located in the old Ballard Firehouse in sunny downtown Ballard in Seattle, and welcome to this week's health tip. Well, last week, if you remember, we talked about how to keep weight off of your body, and we shared some statistics from some research that was done there. Well, there's been some questions about this topic and some suggestions or some trends that have been noticed that people are seeing in their children that they're heavier than what they remember themselves being or other people in their neighborhoods. And so we wanted to talk about that, or I want to talk about that today and talk about our generation, the future of our generation. Unfortunately, our children's life expectancy is 72 years, where our life expectancy is 76 years. And so this generation of children that are going through right now, it's the first time in our history that they've gone backwards in their health as far as life expectancy goes. And I don't know the statistics off the top of my head, but we do know that obesity and diabetes and arthritis is happening in children now, and it's growing pretty rapidly. So the question becomes, why is that happening? Well, it's really, really simple. The truth is that children follow the trends of their parents. And not saying that we're bad parents, but we let things slide with our children when it comes to food. Like, for example, anytime you go to a restaurant, when you look at a children's menu, it's a way unhealthier menu than what we get offered. There's a lot of high carbohydrate, high processed, sugary types of foods. So a lot of people understand the concept that we are what we eat, but that's an easy way out for people to not follow through with their health and well-being. But what if we change that saying to, we are what we buy. We eat what we buy. We become what we buy. So think about what you're bringing into your house. If you don't bring in the high starch, high carbohydrate, high sugary processed foods, your children are going to have a hard time eating those types of foods. So you want to be focusing on natural whole foods, nothing processed, but more whole foods like fruits and vegetables, high, good sources of protein, grass-fed meats, wild fish. Stay away from farmed. Go with the natural as possible. Introduce nuts and seeds, like really easy, simple things to do. Because our children, they're only craving those items that are flavorful because we give it to them and their taste buds become, accustomed to them. But truthfully, the body wants the healthier option. So the other strategy is, we tend to want to tell our children to eat everything on their plate. Just because if that was modeled to you doesn't mean it's the right thing to do. Kids know when they're full. So if they say that they're done, then let them be done. And know that, if they want to eat an hour later or 2 hours later, let them do it. It's actually healthier to eat in small amounts frequently through the day as opposed to gorging and being really, really full. So, they don't need, like in our home, they don't need to finish every single bit on their plate because they know when their bodies, had enough food. Our children are intuitive beings, very intelligent, and we need to trust them and trust that they know their body better than we think we know. So, the other strategy is have a smaller plate size when you bring them food so that when they're done eating, great if they finish it all, but they don't necessarily have to. So there's a lot of really simple things that you can do to help reduce the weight gain that our children are experiencing, but the big one what's going to be is stay away from that processed, high carbohydrate, high starch types of foods and really focus on the whole foods. And then in addition to that, make sure your kids are running and playing and climbing and doing all those things, moving their body and not stuck in front of some computer game or some TV program or some movie. Get them outside and moving their bodies, and I promise you, you'll see their physiology start to transform. And guess what? If you do the same for yourself, the same things will happen. So that's this week's health tip. Hope it's informative for you. If you need support around that, let me know. I'm here to help you get, achieve those health goals for you and your family. And welcome back to school, everybody who has kids. It's time, and so congratulations on getting through another summer of fun. And make sure you schedule your next appointment for you and for your children because they too deserve to have a healthy spine and nervous system. Take care. Have a wonderful hot summer weekend here in Seattle, and we'll see you next week on next week's health tip. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.